Hey, I'm Sujan Patel from Ramp Ventures. You can watch my speech on how to grow a SaaS company in 2020 and beyond on the marketing stage at Infoshare 2020 online. Really look forward to seeing you guys there. I think for being a marketer to me is really about how to build marketing into your product, your offering, whatever you're selling. Whether it's brick and mortar store, service, a physical product, a software offering, it's all about how to make that the actual marketing. The more the product can contribute to the marketing, the more value, the more marketing you get from just getting people through the door. I would call it that kind of virality component, but more importantly, it's really the customer experience that is the key. So 2020 marketing is not just marketing, it's everything: product, marketing, sales, customer success, the customer experience, everything related to what somebody interact with your brand, your product, your offering. The best advice I've ever received is to focus on things that could actually move the needle. So too often, and I've done this in my career early on, and many times, unfortunately, is to focus on a lot of things. I read about like the greatest way to grow a company, and I go do the 5 things that they say. I go read another book on this, and I try to do too many things. When reality is it only takes 1 or 2 things to really work, to grow and scale a company to billions, really, or there's not really a limit. You look at the biggest companies in the world, they have a handful of marketing strategies that work. They're just really, really good at that. So, follow that, I guess. And I can tell you, when I shifted from doing many things to doing a handful of the things that can get many results, my companies have just grown faster. And that's a part of my talk as well. So you'll hear more details on that. Yeah, the main takeaways you're going to learn from my talk at Infoshare is about how to leverage that customer experience to help you with marketing. There's a handful of things, and they're really easy. Anybody can do. In fact, I'm just going to share exactly what we did at our companies. I run Ramp Ventures, which owns and operates about 8 SaaS companies. You can just steal what we do, copy it word for word. It will work for you. That's number 1. Number 2 is how to identify and how to identify your core marketing channels and then how to scale them. And number 3 is really about how to build a brand in 2020 and kind of beyond, right? It's easier than ever to grow. It's easier than ever to start a business, and it's getting easier and easier to grow them to a certain stage, but then you get stuck. Maybe it's $1 million in annual revenue, 2 million. In the few millions, you're going to get stuck. It's a very big hurdle to kind of pass. What I'm going to be addressing is kind of how from day one to build the brand and to take you past that hurdle. Hard to say. I think the continual evolution of communication, right? Think about Zoom making it much, much easier to do video chats, and the fact that the coronavirus has made that technology kind of further accelerate in adoption. It's been there forever, right? Before Zoom, there was GoToMeeting and all Skype. There's dozens of technologies, FaceTime, but I think the visual communication is going to help make things better. But also the introduction of Slack, Microsoft Teams, moving away from email. So I think people are going to be used to, or things are going to change with, more video chats, more communications that's like a chat versus email, and then maybe using email for the important things or kind of offline. So I think that's going to be one of the bigger technologies that's in the adoption that's going to change kind of how we work or what we do. I think it's going to continue to make lives better and make lives different. And I mean that in a bad way, right? So with new technologies, children can do what I can do as an adult. right? Because they've grown up with it. But with the the more access to technology, the more access to advancements in technology, and more we can do with our cell phone, the earlier, the future generations, or young children or adolescents are going to be utilizing them, and we don't know the long-term effects of what that does to your brain. Does it make you more antisocial, gives you more anxiety? I know that a day without my phone is I'd rather have coronavirus than do that, because I don't know what I'm going to miss, right? Now, so it's things like that I think are going to help make our lives better, but also could make our lives much worse. The title of my favorite book is How to Win Friends and Influence People. Really, really good book. I think I read that every few years, and just reminds me the power of your network and who you surround yourself with. Very basic, but a very impactful on my life, and I keep reading it, and I learn something new every time. A superpower I'd like to have is just to be able to turn my brain off. And the reason for that is I'm constantly thinking about stuff, right? I just went to 1 hour on my exercise bike, watching presentations from other speakers at various conferences, listen to a podcast. I mean, I'd like to just be able to turn my brain off to see what a well-rested brain would do for my clarity when I need to use it the most. I would say The Lord of the Rings. I tried to fall in love with The Witcher, and I liked it, but anticlimactic maybe ending turned me away from the series.